I'm Andi.
And I'm Ayla, and welcome to Sinister Dynasty.
Okay, so Ayla went last time with our episode on Stan. This time we're going to do quite a controversial case in New Zealand, even though it happened almost 30 years ago now. Never going to guess. David Bain. Woo!
Is that something to celebrate?
Well, it's not really the best term to say, best thing to say. But anyway, we're going to be doing David Bain. So if you're from New Zealand, you most likely know exactly what it is, apart from if your name is Ayla.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know about this. Like, I know the name.
You're from Westport, so that kind of makes sense.
It's a fun place.
Oh, we love growing up there. What am I saying? I never grew up there. Anyway.
Have you even been there?
No, I haven't even been to Westport.
Oh, God.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know if you'll just have to speak it up to me if we ever go there, ever.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, going back. So David Bain, so we're kind of just going to get right into it, really. Because it's not really the act, well, it's definitely the act itself that's really shocking, but it's more the stuff behind it as to what makes it so controversial right now. Well, and all the time, really, just very controversial.
So we're going to do this in two parts?
2 parts, yes, 2 parts, because there's so much information, and also I took my sweet time researching, so I want to make sure I get the most of it into this. But yeah, okay, so what happened? So there was Robin and Margaret. So they were the 2 parents, and they were married in 1969. And they had David, who was the oldest sibling. He was born in 1972. Arawa was born in 1974. She was the oldest daughter. Laniet was born in 1976, and Stephen was born in 1980. And so the date that everything occurred was the 20th of June in 1994.
Ooh, that's awfully close to my not 1994, but like 20th of June is awfully close to my birthday.
Oh, I have to remember that. We'll do like a little birthday edition for you or something.
Good luck working out what day it is.
Yeah, no, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out at some point. I put it on my little calendar. But yeah, so this happened in Dunedin. So 20th of June 1994 in Dunedin. I actually went to uni in Dunedin, and I didn't even hear about this case until after I'd left Dunedin. So I don't know, maybe it's something they kept hidden down there. I don't know, but yeah. Although now hearing back on it, this is again a little bit controversial. They have had drinking parties around this.
Whoa.
I mean, that's Kiwis for you, I guess, just making light of a awful situation, but there you go. There's also Party Central Otago University, so it kind of makes sense a little bit, I guess. Still, yeah, anyway, I had no idea about it. So what happened was there was a call to 911, New Zealand's line, at 7:09 a.m. on the 20th of June 1994, and David called up, and he was really, really distressed, and he was like, they're all dead. So 7:09 a.m. he'd just found them, all the rest of the family, so the rest of the other 5 family members were just dead. Yeah, so pretty much just imagine just walking into your house, or whatever he was doing at the time, walking into your house and just your mum, your dad, your 2 sisters and your brother, all younger than you by your mum and dad, are just dead. I don't know, that's, yeah.
How awful would that be, though? Like, all of your closest support, the people closest to you.
Yeah. Just gone, really, yeah. Freaking just, quite shocking, really, to be honest. And so, what that was left over, so as the police were going through the house, so there was a body so everybody was in a different room. Where they were found, and the computer was found, the family's computer, and on that computer was a note saying that he was sorry, but you were the only one that deserved to live. And so it's like...
Whoa.
Yeah, so David just walked into this property, found all his family members dead, and then found that letter or that note on his family's computer just saying he was the only one that deserved to live. That's pretty effed up.
I mean...
That's pretty effed up.
You're not allowed to have a favourite child of your parents.
Yeah.
Even if you do, you don't tell children.
Yeah.
You kill them all equally.
We can joke about this because it's nearly 30 years ago.
And if you don't laugh, you're going to cry.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no. Just, yeah, pretty dodge. So...
Well, instead of killing them, you could just keep them all alive. You'd just kill yourself.
Yeah, but then what would we make podcasts about? So I don't know.
Touché.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, everyone was found dead by David, and they were all killed from a gun. So they'd all been shot.
Nice.
Yeah, they'd all been shot in the different rooms. And 4 days later, so on the 24th of June, David was charged with 5 counts of murder.
Crikey, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of charges.
That's a lot of murder.
One charge, 5. That's 5 times.
You've got a problem, sir.
You've got a problem. You've definitely got a problem. That's what the police thought anyway, because they just charged him with 5 counts of murder.
That's a serial killer.
Yeah. I wonder.
Is it? Because a serial goes
This
in...
is like a mass shooter, maybe.
Yeah, it definitely is a mass shooter.
Yeah.
It's not a serial because wouldn't a serial be like staged over a certain amount of time instead of just all it... Anyway, we will Google that for the next episode and let you know what the difference, what a serial killer is by definition.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to know about that anyway. But no, anyway, we'll have to write that down for later. But anyway, so he was charged with 5 counts of murder, right? And so he was in prison. He was in there for a long time. But...
How long was he in there for?
Until May 2007. And he was released on bail after being charged... of murdering his 5 family members.
Was he...
And he was released, just bam.
So what, did he appear in front of a judge, the evidence was gone over, and he was deemed to be the one that murdered them, and he goes to jail, and then he gets out a few years later?
Yeah, so he gets out, I'm really bad at maths, 13 years later.
If you tell me...
Unlucky for some.
If you tell me it's because he had good behaviour in prison,
to be fair,
what the fish sticks.
Yeah, what the fish sticks. I like that, but no, it wasn't because I don't know. There's not really any mention of him of it being based on that. But
I wonder if he was even sentenced to begin with, or he was just he was
definitely sentenced. Yeah, he was definitely sentenced, and so he spent like 13 years in jail.
I mean, that should be.
It should be for life.
For minimum, half a murder. You should definitely, for 5 counts of murder, he should have been there and there.
Definitely, yeah.
For 13 times 5.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I like that. Exactly. So, pretty much he was just released after 13 years and was just, what the hell, really? So, basically, there was a few court cases of appeal, Court of Appeal, and I think that's what they're called. I don't know. Court of Appeal, and there was 3 of them from my understanding, and there was different evidence presented each time, and but we'll get into that in the next episode anyway, because I really want to go through the nitty gritty with you guys so you can actually form your own decision.
I want to go through the nitty gritty.
Yeah, well, because it's still really controversial. People still can't agree, even though he's been let out of prison. People still some people think it's Robin. Oh, I didn't say that. No, actually no, that's pretty much guess. Some people think it's Robin that killed everyone, and some people think it's David. So it's pretty. My understanding is kind of it's 50-50. I haven't been listening to anybody on their opinions because I don't just ask randoms on the street. Who do you think killed David's family in 1994? But it could be a topic of conversation. That's what we're turning it into right now, I guess.
Yeah, well, when you said the letter was left, I mean, you could say it was a random.
Yeah. Or I think, so pretty sure what I'm
weird.
thinking is with the letter that they left on the computer, they just would have thought that David had done it, right? But to just let himself go. Like, oh, I can try pin it on Robin and then it won't be blamed on me. So that could have been David writing it to just save his own ass. But again, we're going to get into that in a little bit in the next episode as well. Yeah, spoilers. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what that was. Every time it's spoilers. Dun, 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 dun. Also, as well, with this, there was actually a play made about this called, The December Brother, and it was in 2010.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. My parents wouldn't have let me. They didn't let me watch M movies until I was 16. I think that's why I don't like horror movies.
That is definitely why you don't like them.
I couldn't even watch Step Brothers.
Jesus. You could have looked it up on YouTube. It could have been on YouTube.
True. I should, yeah. Well, because there was a little blurb that it read anyway. I probably could have watched it, but I don't know. I'm not really into the gory stuff.
I don't know if it would have been too much gore. It's a play, not a bloody...
Well, they could have had, like, red tissue. How they normally do it, like, when they shoot, they're like, anyway, but no, so the December Brother was just basically about so the producer Tim Spite, it was about his dad who was adopted at birth, and he had an astrological, I think that's how you pronounce it, one of those readings anyway, and it found out that he actually had like a long lost sibling, and it turns out that apparently he had a long lost sibling, right?
What?
This is just a play. So
okay.
yes, sorry. So yeah, this is a play
We're talking
again.
About the play.
This is the December Brother. He so the producer's dad, which is who the play's about, he had a reading, and his apparently he had a long lost sibling, so he was searching for his sibling, and then the second act is about the Bain killings, and then the third act just brings them all together. So somehow the producers turned his dad's true, like, being adopted at birth story and linked it to the David Bain
case.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, you'd have to be pretty creative to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But do you know what happened to him?
I don't know, actually. Maybe.
I wonder what happened to him.
I know. They could have given me the next episode as well. I know, but yes, that was a bit funky. But I mean, you got to sell tickets somehow. I guess.
mean, yeah.
Like, and then it would have worked. Like, it would have worked.
Definitely.
If I was allowed to watch M's, I would have gone.
If you were allowed to watch G's.
Yeah.
Right, carry on.
But yeah, no, so yeah, basically after the play, so there was that play and blah blah, and there's also been a big podcast as well, Black Hands, in New Zealand, and it delves deep into the David Bain case, like deep into the David Bain case. There's also like a TV series or something put on as well, which was against the wishes of the family. Fair enough. But yeah, there was that on too. So no, this case is very, very well known in New Zealand, right? And again, you're still on the fence about who's done it, whether it was Robin who killed everyone and then killed himself and had David walk in on him, or then David who attempted to frame Robin, kind of thing. So again, it's very interesting.
Oh, that's very back front.
So a little bit more backstory. So at the time of the killings, well, just before the killings, Robin and Margaret were separated, so they were estranged. Yeah, so Robin was living, I think it was like 3-4 days a week at his school, because he was a principal at Taieri School.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, and so he was staying there for a bit, and then when he'd come home for the weekend, he'd have a caravan out back, and so he'd just live in the caravan.
How old were his kids at this time?
So Stephen was 14, and David was 22, Arawa was 20, and Laniet was 17, I think. Yeah,
Okay,
she was turning 18.
So he came home to be with the kids.
Yeah, so he'd just come home, just like on a weekly thing. Sometimes Laniet would stay with him, and sometimes she wouldn't. She'd moved out of the house by then, so she was just going wherever. David was a university student. Arawa was going to the teaching college, and Stephen was 14. He was at school. She was just chilling at school. So, but yeah, Robin and Margaret were separated, and there was lots of blood. So after that, there were lots of blood stains around the house too. So
you get that with the murder.
Yeah, you would get that. Funny enough, you would get that. And what was found was a .22 rifle with a silencer, and that was on the floor of the lounge, and it was pointing towards Robin.
Oh, with the .22 rifle, how long was the .22 rifle? How would Ronald have, or is that his name? Robin. How would have Robin shot himself with a .22 rifle? Like, I mean, it's going to be pretty long. It's going to be longer than my arm.
True. You could talk about the heights and stuff there as
well. I wonder, yeah, because it doesn't say it was sawn off, and with a silencer on the end, that's going to add extra.
Yeah.
That's quite... It was the same in the Kurt Cobain case as well.
True. I haven't heard of that. The Kurt
what?
Cobain one.
What? Do you at least know who he is?
I've heard of him.
Nah. Okay.
We're not touching it. But anyway, so there was a .22 rifle with a silencer. So again, like what Ayla said, extended. So there's a .22 rifle, and then there's a silencer added on top of that, adding more length to it. And it was found on the floor of the lounge, pointing towards Robin. There was also a bloodstained glove that was found under Stephen's bed. Dun, dun, dun. And there was also some washing in the washing machine.
Nice.
Which police hung out to dry.
What good
Classic
men.
Kiwi. Good men. Good policemen. Yeah, so there was that. And yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing because the police hung the washing out to dry.
Like, who is that benefiting?
It's very important stuff.
There could have been evidence.
But yeah, no, so there's that anyway. And so 4 days after the search of the Bain house, after the search of the Bain house started, I could probably even include some photos here now, but it took quite a bit of time because not only was it a murder scene, but the house was actually quite disorganised and quite messy. Like, it was kind of close to like a hoarder situation as
there photos of it?
Yeah, there are a few photos. We could even get them provided up onto our social medias or something. Yeah, Instagram. Yeah, so there's some of them anyway. And it was quite messy. Like, I guess it's the 90s and it's a style or whatever. There's like a certain style. And, there was those ugly carpets that just made everything seem real busy.
What carpets were those?
Oh, the old 90s carpets.
I mean, they're not... Look at your boring ass carpet. No pattern to be seen anywhere.
You've got the point.
Spice it up with a rug. They didn't have to buy a rug. It was already spicy.
They should have bought a rug to cover the whole carpet. I'm no interior designer, but I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Not them, just the 90s in general with the carpets. But anyway, so that made it seem busy, but there was still lots and lots of stuff around the house and everything. It was just, quite messy. But there was lots of stuff on the carpet as well, so it took quite a while to... Well, they also, again, wanted to make sure that they found everything, but it would have taken a bit longer than a cleaner place. And so what they found was a lens, so like a lens you find in the glasses. There was the left lens found in Stephen's room, and it had come from a spectacle frame with the right lens found in David's room. So there was that.
Whose glasses were they?
We'll get into that in the next episode too. And so there's these real amazing green curtains. So after the search of the Bain house, they found the lenses, and there were these green curtains, which what we were saying, and police alleged that David hid behind the green curtains to shoot his father. But
that seems so out the gate.
Well, it kind of makes sense though. I mean, like, if I had those green curtains in my house, I wouldn't want to look at them either. I wonder if you're hiding behind them.
I wonder if the house was like dark because of the hoarding, like slightly darker. Yeah. Because even if, like, you know, say you're playing hide and seek with someone, I don't know why you'd be playing hide and seek with someone, but you don't hide behind curtains because you get
unless they're ugly.
So easy.
Unless they're ugly.
Oh, no way.
Maybe Robin was just really into interior design and the curtains just got him real mad, so he just chose not to look at them.
Or maybe he loved them. He loved them. I loved them.
See, controversial topic. This is why. No.
I'm here for the curtains and carpet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So also at the very start, you know how I said he was in prison for 13 years? He wasn't. He was in prison for 12 years because he actually got convicted of the murders in 1995. So he was charged. He was charged with the murders in 1994 and he was convicted in 1995. So what was found about Robin, so again, he was a principal at school. He was staying in the house half and half, staying at either the schoolhouse at Taieri School or in the caravan out back. He had started to get quite messy himself, like quite disorganised, and that would have impacted the house a little bit as well. Again, like going through, like if you've ever experienced a separation, sometimes you can get quite just not want to clean up or anything either because you get real sad. So Margaret had been going through a little bit of that too, so she might have been quite messy as well for a little bit, just while coping with like her mental stress and everything.
It's most probably not even like messy, it's most probably like, obviously you'd be absolutely lost, and I don't think I'd get out of bed. Well, they've been married, they've got kids, like, and then they separate. So difficult.
Yeah, it'd be really tough, especially when your ex-partner is still seeing you half of the week, because you're still with each other half the week. Going back to the theories, we've kind of been chitting about them, really. Theory 1, David is the killer. Oh.
Did not see that coming.
What? David's the killer. Theory 2, Robin's the killer.
I never knew.
I never knew.
I would have never guessed.
Never guessed. So again, as you can kind of see both perspectives, really. Like,
I mean, we obviously don't have the full evidence.
No, hell no.
Based on the stuff that we know, they are two strong suspects.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never been considered that anybody else did it. It's either really only been focusing on Robin or David,
I wonder if there was any evidence that sort of made it potentially there was an outside person.
I know did
you see anything?
No, they in the justice document there was just no thought that it could have been anyone else. It was just solely focused on David killing everybody or Robin killing everyone but David. So there's that. So, theory 1, David's the killer. So, basically with David, he'd go on a paper run. So, he'd wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, very early. Don't scoff, you wake up at that time.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's incredible. But yeah, I get up my alarm goes off at 5:45.
Yes.
Sometimes 5 o'clock, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself?
What a weirdo.
Oh, God.
But yeah, very, very, very early. Very, very early. You don't do a paper run though. Whereas he was doing a paper run.
He's out there doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm out here not getting out of bed.
Yeah. So then what happened next was, so we got up at about 5 a.m. and got dressed. He then took from his wardrobe his 22. And what? He unlocked I don't know, apparently this is what happened, and then he unlocked the trigger lock with a spare key, which he kept in a jar on his desk. So again, I mean, you've got a 14-year-old brother and you keep a key for your gun.
Yeah, so the
jar
gun
on your desk.
So what happens in New Zealand, from my understanding, is the gun is kept in the safe and the trigger lock is kept separate. So the gun safe has a password and a code, potentially a key.
Yeah, but why would you keep the key, an important key, on your desk especially when you've got a younger brother who could easily just be like, Cool key.
Is that for the trigger lock though?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the gun safe could have been like a pin or a code or something like that.
Okay.
The laws are hectic.
That makes a bit more sense then. Yeah.
Don't quote me because I do not have a gun license.
You know more than I do. I don't know anything about this stuff. That's why I'm kind of finding it quite interesting because again I don't know freaking anything about that. But yes, so he usually had a key tied around his neck, but he'd taken this off because he took part in a polar plunge. Classic. Polar plunge. I know. Priorities. All good.
I wonder if he was fundraising. Because generally they're fundraising for stuff, polar plunges.
Or he was just drunk. So we did it. But yeah, so he then took the ammunition from his wardrobe. Because all the ammunition was in his wardrobe. He had a lot of it too. There was like 1,000 or something. Like,
I'm a wee bit confused. Have you done a paper run at any point in your life?
No.
I tagged along with a friend and we never took a gun. And I'm from Westport. Like, not that you need a gun in Westport, but I have never done a paper run with a gun or never seen a kid doing a paper run with a gun. That seems like, what was he planning? Was he going to detour on the way home, shoot a deer and put it on the back of his bike?
He's got to protect the paper somehow. It's defenseless. It can't protect itself.
Got to stop that dog getting that paper.
Yeah. That's a fair point, though. But basically, he took the ammunition from the wardrobe, and then he then shot and killed in an unknown order. It says his family. He just did it.
I mean,
yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
And that is when. So going back to the lens, that is when the lens fell out from the glasses. Because they've just assumed that the glasses are David's because they found the frame in his room, and apparently in a struggle with Stephen, that's when the left lens fell out, right? And that's how the lens ended up in his bedroom.
I mean, once again, I keep saying but once again, so he's taken his gun to do his paper run with only one lens in his glass.
Oh no! So when he was killing Stephen, he fell out there. Then. Yeah. So he had the struggle then. So maybe like Stephen overheard with the silencer. I don't know how the silencer works. I don't know much about gun stuff.
It doesn't make it completely silent.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So maybe that's how he found out, and then they tried finding each other, and then he died, right? And so that's how the lens was found in Stephen's room. That there's blood everywhere because again he'd been killing people. So when you kill people, there is normally blood.
Yeah, it tends to have. I mean,
yeah.
Once again, strangulation.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, normally blood or blue. I don't know.
I don't think there's blood. Yeah. Where would the blood come from?
Or blue. And I said normally blood, and then or blue, because then the person when they strangle will be like too blue. I don't know. I've never seen someone die. That's just from movies.
Neither, I have to
from
say.
After I turned 16, in movies.
How many have you watched? Like 20?
Probably not even that much. I hate them. Yeah. Anyway, so he then washed and changed his clothing, leaving marks in the laundry room, and put his bloodstained clothing in the washing machine. So. Washing machine.
Washing?
Yeah.
The police?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, the police hung up and dried a murderer's clothing.
Well,
not so nice of them. Supposed murderer's clothing. Then David, after killing his family, leaving bloody footprints everywhere, then washed his clothes. So he put blood-stained clothing in the washing machine and left blood everywhere, and then washed it. And that's kind of funny because then when the police came to look at around the house and everything, they hung up the washing for him. Very nice of them. Very, very decent, I'd say.
Why would you go and destroy a crime scene? They have destroyed the crime scene.
Yeah. They probably thought they were being helpful. Yeah,
they're dead. They don't need their washing.
No, exactly. Who cares if it smells? Who cares if you've got sensitive nostrils? It's a murder scene. But yeah, so there's that. Oh, and sorry, going back as well, Robin liked to pray a lot. So when Robin's body was found in the lounge next to the computer, because the computer was off the lounge, apparently that's when David came out from behind the green curtains and was like, bam. Sorry.
What does praying have to do with that, sorry?
Oh, that's just how he ended up in the lounge, and that's...
So he was praying in the lounge?
Yeah, he was praying in the lounge, and then that's where he died. Yeah. So, then apparently David rearranged the scene to make it look like a suicide, and then paused for a little bit, because again, he came home, I didn't say this actually, he came home at around 6:45 in the morning, right? And then between 6:45am when he came home, and then when he called 911 at 7:09am, that's a little bit of a gap there, right? There's a big gap.
Yeah.
I mean, you are just coming to the realization that your family's dead, but still, it's a pretty big gap. Yeah, so, hey, then that would have given him time, I guess, to rearrange the scene to make it look like a suicide, and then calling 911, and then pretend to be in a state of great distress. So I'll leave you to it, just having a think about that. That's one side of the story at the moment. We'll leave it there. We're going to do a part two. A part deuce. Part deuce. Nice. But yeah, so that's the first part of the David Bain case. We'll do part 2. We'll be filming it very shortly, but you guys will not hear it for a while.
Suckers.
Dun, 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 dun.
Not that you're going to be on the edge of your seat for part 2.
No, but yeah, so that's it really. Very interesting to see. Well, I already know what I'm going to talk about, but very interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear a wee bit more of the more in-depth stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good, I think. Yeah, we'll leave you to it, guys.